Welcome back to Grammar Grade 10. This is Unit 11, Lesson 86, and today we take on the smallest mark in all of punctuation, the apostrophe. It is tiny, it is easy to drop in the wrong place, and it causes more mistakes than almost anything else on the page. But here is the good news. Once you know what the apostrophe is actually for, the rules are short and they hold. Let's dig in. Let's begin with the whole lesson in one sentence, because it really is this simple. The apostrophe does two jobs, and only two. Job 1. It shows possession. The dog's leash. The girl's lockers. That little mark is telling you who owns what. Job 2. It marks missing letters. When we squeeze the two words cannot down into can't, the apostrophe stands right where the letters used to be. One small mark, two big jobs. Every rule we look at today is just one of those two ideas wearing a different coat. Start with job 1, possession, in its simplest form. When the noun is singular, one owner, you add an apostrophe and an S. The dog's leash, one dog. So we write D-O-G apostrophe S. Easy. Now here is where people freeze. What if the singular noun already ends in an S, like the name James? The rule does not change one bit. James's notebook. Apostrophe, then another S right on the end. Same story with the class's project. A class is one thing, one single group, so it still takes apostrophe plus S. Don't let that final letter scare you. If the noun is singular, just add apostrophe and S. Now, what if the owners are plural? Here, the road forks, but the fork is easy to read. Branch 1. If the plural noun already ends in an S, and most plurals do, you add the apostrophe alone, with no second S. The girls' lockers. Many girls. So the apostrophe sits after the S that is already there. The bat's wings work the same way. Branch 2. A few plurals don't end in S at all. Children, men, women, geese. For those, you go right back to apostrophe plus S. The children's coats, the men's team. And one more group belongs here. Indefinite pronouns like everyone and somebody take apostrophe S, exactly like a singular noun. Everyone's coat, somebody's phone. Here is a distinction worth slowing down for. When two people own something, does the apostrophe go on both names or only on the last one? It depends on whether they share the thing. Look at the first line. Rosa and Devin's car. Only the last name takes the apostrophe S, and that is what tells you there is one car, shared between the two of them. Now read the second line. Rosa's and Devin's cars. Each name carries its own apostrophe S, and that tells you there are two cars, one for each of them. See what happened? The apostrophes are doing real work. They are counting the owners for you. So, joint ownership puts the mark on the last name only, and separate ownership puts a mark on every name. On to job 2. A contraction is two words squeezed together into one, and the apostrophe stands exactly where the missing letters used to be. Watch it happen. Can and not become can't. The apostrophe is holding the spot where the N and the O fell out. They and are become their. It and is become its. We and have become we've. The same trick works on a missing number. Of the clock shrinks down to o'clock, and the graduating class of 2009 becomes the class of apostrophe 09. And while we are here, a small bonus rule that lives in the same family. To make a letter or a figure plural, we use an apostrophe and an S so the reader isn't confused. Mind your P's and Q's, or count 3 sevens. In every one of these, the same idea holds. Letters gone, the apostrophe takes their place. Now the great trap, the one that catches nearly everybody at least once. Possessive pronouns never take an apostrophe, not a single one of them. It's, yours, hers, ours, theirs, whose. Those words already show possession all by themselves, so they need no extra mark. Look at the first sentence. The cat licked its paw. That word is a possessive pronoun, meaning belonging to it, and it takes no apostrophe whatsoever. Now the second sentence. It's raining again. That word is a contraction, standing in for the two words it is, so the apostrophe steps in for the missing letter. Two words that sound identical, doing completely different jobs. The very same trap is waiting with whose and whose, and again with their, and their. So how do you make sure you never miss? One test and it never fails. Expand the contraction. Before you write the word, stop and try saying the full two words in that spot. If it is fits, as in it is raining again, then you want the version with the apostrophe. If it is does not fit, because the cat licked its paw is nonsense, then you want the plain possessive with no apostrophe at all. And the beauty of this test is that it stretches. Use the same test for whose and whose, and for their and their. Expand the contraction, and the little mark will tell you exactly where it belongs. Let's practice. In this first set, I'll describe who owns what, and you pick the correctly written possessive. Ask yourself two things. Is the owner singular or plural? And does that word end in an S? Pause the video and choose before I reveal each answer. The coats belonging to the children. Careful here. Children is already plural, but it does not end in an S. That puts it in branch 2, so it takes an apostrophe and an S. The correct form is the children's coats. The lockers belonging to the girls. Many girls, and the plural already ends in an S, so we add the apostrophe alone, with nothing after it. The correct form is the girls' lockers, with the mark sitting after the S. The notebook belonging to James. Only one person named James, so the noun is singular, and a singular noun takes an apostrophe and an S even when it already ends in one. The correct form is James's notebook. Now for the trap set. Each sentence has a blank, and you have to decide whether the word takes an apostrophe or not. Use the test. Expand the contraction and see whether the full two words actually fit. Pause and try each one before I answer. The dog wagged blank tail happily. Run the test. Try the full two words. The dog wagged its tail happily? That is nonsense. Since the expansion does not fit, we need the possessive pronoun, the plain one with no apostrophe. The answer is its. Blank almost midnight, so we should head home. Test it. It is almost midnight, so we should head home. That fits perfectly. Because the expansion works, we want the contraction, and the contraction carries the apostrophe. The answer is the one with the apostrophe. Blank bike is leaning against the fence. Same test, new pair. Try the expansion. Who is bike is leaning against the fence. That falls apart immediately. So we are asking about ownership, which means we need the possessive pronoun with no apostrophe. The answer is whose. Let's gather it all up. For possession, a singular noun takes an apostrophe and an S, even when it already ends in one. A plural noun that ends in S takes the apostrophe alone, and a plural without an S goes back to apostrophe plus S. When two people own one thing together, only the last name gets the mark. When they own things separately, every name gets one. And in a contraction, the apostrophe simply marks the letters that went missing. Then remember the trap: possessive pronouns. Its, yours, hers, ours, theirs, whose. Never ever take an apostrophe, and the way to be certain is to expand the contraction and see whether it fits. Nice work today. In the next lesson, we'll look at the hyphen. I'll see you there.